F1 and F2. So F1 vector and F2 vector, when those are added, we get this. Similarly, from this triangle, these two red lines and this blue line, it is a vector summation of the forces F3 and F4 will give us this thing. This is the simply the reverse way. Similarly, F5 plus F6. So this opposite process is applicable for unlimited number of such combinations. Okay. Now that combination we can make according to our convenience. So here is that our convenience. We consider this point where we complete this triangle, this point as the opposite vertex to this vector F in this triangle, then these two lines are perpendicular to each other, and we can frame it on this Cartesian coordinate systems, x and y mutually perpendicular to each other. In that case, this part is called the x component of the vector F, and this is the y component of the vector F. It is simply this kind of resolution. Okay. Now, this thing we utilize for this situation. So at B there is a force F1, at C there is a force F2 not inclined parallel to F1. Now we resolve this force F1 in two components. Maybe those are F3 plus F4, and resolve this force F2 which is parallel to F1 in two components, F5 plus F6. So ultimately what is the F1 plus F2? It is F3 plus F4 plus F5 plus F6. So I'm not going to write all these things in detail. It's very easy to understand and visualize. Now, this system of two vectors F1 and F2 parallel to each other is equivalent to 4 vector summation, that is F4, F3 plus F4 plus F5 plus F6. Now, if we can consider any two of these components out of this 4, for F3 and F4 corresponding to F1 and F5 and F6 corresponding to F2 parallel to F1, if we consider, we select two those vector components, one from this F1, other from this F2, whose magnitudes are same, directions are opposite. Suppose F4 and F5, those are equivalent opposite. Then what about the vector summation? F3 plus F4, then F5 is minus F4. 0. Not 0.
F3 plus F6.
Sir, please repeat the question again, sir.
आवाज नहीं आ रहा।
आवाज आएगा बेटा, मैं कुछ लिख रहा हूँ, तो पढ़ने का कोशिश कर। So now, do you get my point? Resolve F1 in these two components, F3 and F4. Now this F3 and F4, they cannot be parallel to each other or parallel to the given force F1, any two direction. Then resolve F2 in F5 and F6. Done. Then you make this F4 and F5 equal and opposite to each other. Then what happens to this equation?
F3 plus F6.
F3 plus F6.
F3 plus F6.
So F4 and F5 are equal and opposite to each other. Done. Then the resultant R is F1 plus F2, that is equal to F3 plus F6. Okay. Now what do we get from this? Resolving the forces F1 and F2? We get these two forces, the resultant force R corresponding to the two parallel forces F1 and F2 is F3 plus X6. Now are these forces F3 and F6 parallel to each other? Because drawing those lines in our hand, and we intentionally make this resolution in such a way that in any sense F3 and F6 cannot be parallel to each other, and definitely there will be some point of intersection, and geometrically we find that points of intersection by extending the lines of action of the forces F3 and F6, and through that point the resultant F1 plus F2 is acting. It's very simple, and you can try it with your paper, scale, pencil, eraser. That's all. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So geometrically it is very interesting, and you will find rather you will enjoy to play with these geometries. Then we discussed about these details of summation of mode number of forces, etc. Then this is the way how we resolve it. According to our convenience, we select any point in that plane and draw this triangle. Now, whenever we have drawn any triangle, suppose this first one, F1, F2, and R. Now, these lines have their lengths equal to the magnitude of these forces, rather geometrically it is represented. So there must be some suitable scale. Suppose 1 centimeter represents 100 Newton, etc. So if it is 5.5 centimeter, if it is 7 centimeter, and somehow it is 8 centimeter, so it is 800. This is 550, and this is 700 Newton. In that way. But from your school syllabus, the property of this triangle, can you remember that sine law?
So
length of this line divided by
sine A by A is equal to sine B by B equal to sine C by C.
So this magnitude of F1 divided by sine of this angle, included angle, that is equal to magnitude of F2 divided by sine of this opposite angle. That is equal to R divided by this angle, sine of this angle.
Yes, sir.
Now, very
that
important.
Is Lami's theorem.
That is not Lami's theorem. Lami's theorem is represented in some other form using the sine laws, where those angles are not included angle between the forces or these three sides, capital A, capital B, and capital C.
Yes, sir. It is sine rule. This one is.
This is sine rule.
Sine. But
it was present in the properties of triangles.
Okay. Now, one thing we can do. Can you remember that we can shift the position of the point of application of the force along that line of the force, line of action of the force, without changing the effect of that force. So if we have three forces, F1, F2, and R, suppose it is in equilibrium. So R is not that resultant of F1 and F2. So in that case, R should be opposite to this direction. So F1 plus F2 plus this, as it is shown, it should be minus R. So F1 plus F2 minus R, that is equal to 0. That is the equilibrium. Any name you can give. Now, if you consider this this force system or maybe this concurrent force system here directly. Now, if three forces are there, one is F1, other is F2, not according to those green line directions. Suppose F1, F2 and F3, these three forces are acting. And they are giving a closed vector polygon, that is a force triangle. Now, from that force triangle, you can draw this F1 plus F2 plus F3, that is equal to 0. And there you utilize the sine law. Now, one thing, remembering that the point of application of the force can be shifted to any location along their line of action. So if it is F1, we can shift this point of application B to some other location. We can shift this point C to another location, suppose these are overlapping, and we can consider that minus arc force, that is the equilibrium force or the third force, it may be F3, whatever it may be, F1 plus F2 plus F3 is equal to 0, giving us that equilibrium situation. So in that case, we can draw three lines, one along F1, other along F2, and the third one along the equilibrium or F3 or minus R, whatever you like to call it. Then for that particular point, we have drawn three lines. Triangle is different issue. It is the three vector lines connected one after other to get a triangle. But in this case, when that concurrent force situation is given at a particular point, three forces F1, F2 and F3 are given, then the included angles between F1 and F2, included angle between F2 and F3 and included angle between F3 and F1, those external angles are not same like this. So instead of, suppose we consider a particular point here, anything, then draw F1 through that point in this direction parallel to this green line F1, then F2 parallel to that here, and F3 it is vertical upward. Then the angle between F3 and F1, angle between F1 and F2, and angle between F3 and F2, those are not these things. Those are 180 minus this angle, 180 minus this angle, and 180 minus this angle. Of course, sine 180 minus theta, that is sine theta. So this A divided by sine A, B divided by sine B, as in its familiar way you can remember. So small a divided by sine capital A, that is equal to small b divided by sine capital B, that is equal to small c divided by sine capital C. It is equivalent to small a divided by sine 180 minus capital A, sine 180 minus capital B and sine 180 minus capital C. Those are represented for this type of concurrent force situation, and that we call it by the name of Lami's theorem. And directly we use that Lami's theorem for some kind of problem what we discussed in some previous class in this way.
Sir, is Lami's theorem applied in equilibrium condition only?
Because you need to form that triangle, a closed vector polygon, then only you can apply sine rule. Small a divided by sine capital A, that is equal to small b divided by sine capital B, that is equal to small c divided by sine capital C. And there you change sine A in the form of sine 180 minus capital A, sine B in the form of sine 180 minus capital B or pi minus capital B, and similarly sine capital C is equal to sine 180 minus capital C. And this is possible only when you can form a closed vector polygon, that is a triangle, using those vector magnitudes, and that is only in equilibrium. And when the system is under equilibrium, then you can utilize that Lami's theorem. If it is not, in that case you have to use Lami's theorem in some other manner, that is for resultant of two forces F1 and F2. In that case, the resultant R will be minus F3. Of course, that geometry, that trigonometry, the property of triangle, that sine law, etc. you can utilize, but you need to be conversant with the application of this. So now please remember this particular problem. We isolated this point C, and now if by any chance some student Sonika is there, well, most likely I section 36.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know, out of this 182 roll numbers, how especially your roll number just couldn't respond to when I added this thing. Anyway, beta, I'm sorry, but I found the mail forwarded by the Dean Academic Courses, Professor Hui, and I added you, and definitely you got the response from other classes also. So are you okay with the other classes? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
So if by any chance, due to some server problem or what it may be, some student, if you find that you have been moved out of this team, immediately you know my mobile number, you just simply send one SMS. Okay. So maybe, I don't know, it should not happen, but I don't know. Sometimes it goes in that wrong way. Now, for this system, which is under equilibrium, because this weight is not falling, it is supported by these two ropes, some forces or tension developed in these two ropes. Now, in some books, you will find the notation capital T to represent tension and capital C to represent compression, which is the opposite of the tension. Anyway, in our previous class, we utilized that expression capital S. In some book also, they prefer to use capital S. So the force developed in that string. Now, when we isolate this joint C or the point C from this system and draw its free body diagram, it means show all the forces acting on this point C. You start with the given force corresponding to mass 1600 kg. So 1600 kg multiplied by 981 or multiplied by 9.81. So in the form of Newton, and these two are the unknown forces, and we have drawn this free body diagram. Now here you can find out these angles included between SCB and SCA in this concurrent force system representation. Here, this angle included within self weight of the block and this direction of the member AC. Now, it will be theta 2 plus 90 degree. This angle will be theta 1 plus 90 degree. So, that Lami's theorem, what we are talking about, it will be this self weight divided by sine of 180 minus summation of theta 1 and theta 2.
Yes, sir.
Here, magnitude SCB divided by sine of 90 plus theta 2, and here it is SCA divided by sine of 90 plus theta 1. Okay, now yes, that same thing we can get graphically also by simply forming a triangle, and there the included angle in that triangle, that summation is 180 degree, but this summation, external angle, this summation is 360 degree. So you need to remember this thing very carefully, and when we are utilizing this thing, because there is a chance that we write the incorrect expression there and calculate. So at the very beginning, we make some mistake, and that mistake propagates. It is not very comfortable for us. Now find out the angles theta 1 from its tangent 960 by 400, tan theta 2 is. So we can find out the sine theta 1, cos theta 1 and sine theta 2, cos theta 2. Then for equilibrium, from that resolution of all the forces along x and y direction, these are the algebraic summation of component of all forces along x direction. For equilibrium, resultant is 0, and definitely that sigma fx is equal to 0 gives us SCB cosine theta 1 towards right, it's positive, SCA cosine theta 2 negative towards left, and no contribution from this self weight 1600 multiplied by 9.81, and right hand side it is 0. Similarly, algebraic summation of component of all the forces in y positive direction is SCB sine theta 1, this one, then SCA sine theta 2, this one, minus 1600 multiplied by 9.81, everything in Newton. So that's all. We solve this. We find these two values SCB and SCA, that is the tension developed in the rope CB and CA. That's all. So that analytical method, we can find out the relation between SCB and SCA by simply this way. Take this SCA cos theta 2 on the right hand side and find the ratio. So what about that? So SCA divided by cos theta 1. SCA divided by cos theta 1 means sine of 90 plus theta 1. Then other thing will be from that cross multiplication SCB divided by cos theta 2. So SCB divided by cos theta 2 means SCB divided by sine of this full angle 90 plus theta 2. So nothing to worry whether you can remember the sine law or whether you can remember that Lami's theorem. Simply remember the equilibrium and this resultant force is 0. That means component of all the forces along any particular direction and get their algebraic summation, that is equal to 0. It's very simple. And we need to apply it because for every problem, you will not get this type of situation that only one given force and two members are there. It may be many number and of any combination. So this primary thing is very important. Now when we replace that here in this equation, we get, suppose we replace SCA in terms of SCB. So SCB is there, SCB is there. So we can find the ratio between this force and some angle and this SCB divided by sine of some angle. And definitely you will find that 1600 divided by 9.81, that is equal to that divided by sine of this angle, pi minus theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay, so nothing to worry whether you can remember that crisp formula from that sine law or Lami's theorem. I don't rather compel you to forget these things. Whatever we have learned in our schools, definitely we will remember. But this thing will be more important because for most of the problems, the situation is not only of this kind of 3-4 situation. There may be, suppose 5 forces, but two unknowns, only 2 unknowns, SCB and SCA. But at this joint C, maybe 3 forces are acting. One force is vertical downward, one force is inclined in this direction, other force is horizontal, it may be. So first of all, you have to find a single known force. What is the resultant of this vertical downward force, this horizontal towards right known force, and this inclined downward towards maybe suppose northwest direction. So for all these things, we from their given direction and magnitude, we find the resultant of these 3 forces. Then we apply to this system where this combined known force at any general direction and this. So you need to find out that combined general direction whose angle with this direction or this direction, etc. But simply we remember this algebraic expression where any number of forces will be there. So for 5 known forces, one thing vertical downward, here it will be negative. One thing horizontal towards right, in the first expression it will be positive. In the second equation there will be no contribution. And for this case, if it is 45 degree, so that third force, maybe it is corresponding to 1200 kg. So 1200 multiplied by 9.81, that multiplied by cosine 45 degree, that is negative for sigma fx0, that multiplied by
can we use Lami's theorem?
Pardon?
Sir, can we use Lami's theorem here?
For 3 forces.
Yes, sir.
Lami's theorem is for equilibrium. But for this case, this joint C is under equilibrium under 5 forces, where 3 are the given known magnitude forces with their known direction. 1600 corresponding to this 1600 kg, a vertical downward force, one horizontal force maybe of 700 kg, one inclined force in this direction. But these three forces, these are giving some open polygon. That closing side is the resultant. So one resultant force is acting there, corresponding to which two support reaction has been developed. So you cannot combine definitely for that. Because if 1600, here it is 700, and some 45° 1200 is there, there will be definitely some gap. And that gap line is the resultant. That resultant force is acting here at C. So Lami's theorem is applicable only when that extended sign law is possible to apply there. Sign law is applicable for a closed vector triangle only. Triangle means obviously it will be closed, it's not resultant. So if it is resultant, you need to consider in some different manner. If it is equilibrium, then we use that sign law, or you can do in that way. So, but if there are three forces, there is the fourth force which is the resultant. So 1600 kg corresponding to that, 1600 kg weight plus 700 kg weight plus 1200 kg weight, in this three direction, they will never form a closed vector polygon that is a triangle. There will be a gap, and that gap line is the resultant force, and that resultant force is the equivalent force which is passing through this point. And then you can utilize the Lami's theorem when these two directions are known, but this combined applied force, that direction you need to calculate or determine from that geometry. But if we consider these two equations, there are three known forces, known angles, it is very easy to incorporate them in this equation, and in this equation only two unknowns will be there, SCB and SCA. That's all. Now, any more question?
Sir, please share lecture notes also, sir, after the end of the class.
I am not of that school giving a printed lecture note, because for everybody the same note will be there. I don't believe in that business. You make your own class note. You have that facility of recording my bugbug and the diagrams, etc. And you prepare you prepare your own material. I believe in that school.
Yes, sir, I am preparing, but okay.
Okay, wherever you have some muddy area, some hazy location, I am always there. It is not NPTEL version. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
This is a teaching learning process. I will also learn from, but at the same time, you must have to ask some intelligent question for me. When I understand that you have understood the thing properly and you have prepared a class note, you have gone through any book, I don't have any reservation, you have gone through any book, you tried the solved example first, you understood it completely, then you tried the end of the chapter problem and you done some solution, and somewhere you got stuck up, and then you are asking, and before asking you have this 182 number of your batchmate, at least in this class, and you just sit together. Okay. And your friends will be a better teacher than me, that I believe. And this formation of this big group, it will continue not even during this semester, lifelong. Because the school batchmates, college batchmates, those are valuable, I don't say this valuable property, it's just whatever term you incorporate there, it's very valuable connection. Okay. When you join industry, many people, they are in different industries, and you get their experience of the corporate sector, their culture, their problems. So you become a complete engineer with the help of your batchmates. Now senior, of course, when you join the campus, you will find the face-to-face interaction with your seniors. But anyway, as long as you are not having this facility, we are helpless, but still.
Sir,
Okay.
मेरा एनपीटीएल को लेके एक डाउट था।
कुछ भी डाउट है और लिख के भेजो, स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो। Okay, now let us come back to our. Now, is this screen shared has come back to your machine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, that is for this particular case. It could be that day we are talking about this. Draw this line first, which is given, which is known direction magnitude completely. Now, through this point, draw a line parallel to that angle for the member CB. Through this point, draw this line, get this point of intersection. Now, this will be the triangle. So, terminate the force here. Terminate the force here. So, those will be SCB and SCA. Very simple. We don't need to remember any formula. And if those are properly done with suitable scale, suppose it is corresponding to 1 centimeter equal to 1 kilonewton or something like that, then simply measure this length in scale from this point to this point of intersection. There you simply multiply with that scale, that ratio, you get the magnitude for SCB. Of course, error will be there. It depends on your manual drawing skill. And that scale, in any scale, 1 millimeter is the minimum reading. So by eye estimation, you can estimate it up to half of that, but not any finer fraction of that. If it is 0.2 millimeter, it is not possible. Only analytically with our calculator it is possible, but it gives at least some gross idea about the magnitude and their comparison. At least we can say the force SCB is greater than force SCA. Right?
So we need to measure and draw.
अरे बेटा क्या बताया? This is given. Its direction is given. Its magnitude is given. For other two forces which are forming this equilibrium, directions are given. Magnitudes are those given for this situation? Is the tensions are given? So क्या पूछ रहा है बेटा? कुछ दिमाग अप्लाई कर. But you know their directions. But these directions are such that for equilibrium they should form a closed triangle. But their magnitudes are not known. Their directions are known. So school days में वापस जा. How to form a triangle with one known length of a side and its given direction. Other two directions are given. So draw a line parallel to those two directions through these two terminal points of this given line. One line through this point, draw. You do not know where to terminate because that depends on the magnitude. Where you terminate, that is the magnitude. Then another line, as because you need to complete that vector polygon, that is a complete or closed triangle, that line of course should pass through this point. You draw a line parallel to the angle theta1 or that member is member CA. Then you get this point of intersection, and that is the major criteria. When you get this point of intersection, there you get the closed force polygon, that is the triangle. So definitely along this direction, this length proportional to the magnitude of the force developed in the member CB. Do you understand now? You do not know the magnitude from the very beginning. Only thing you know the directions, and that is your school days geometry.
Yes, sir.
भूलने से काम नहीं चलेगा बेटा. कॉलेज का मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि बचपन भूल जाओ. तो 2-4 दिन बाद तो अपने पेरेंट्स को भूल जाओगे कॉलेज में आने के बाद. बेटा 4 साल के बाद उधर ही वापस जाना है पेरेंट्स के घर.
Your time is up.
So you are getting that idea in this way, the complete graphical or complete analytical or some. So just hold a moment. Okay, I'll be back within a minute.
ছেলে মনে সার্কে ছেড়ে চলে গেছে বিদেশে মনে হচ্ছে
সেটটা না আগের থেকেই খুব ভালো। ऑफिस में
I am back. So where we are considering this particular situation. Now we can consider it in some other way. So this is the free body diagram. Suppose we represent this angle in this alpha and put the tension with the notation capital T. So tension in the member AC, tension in the member BC, and this is the self weight 1600 kg multiplied by 9.81 meter per second square, and this many Newton and kilonewton. Now determine the angle alpha and beta from this tangent, from the given directions and given lengths. There you draw this force triangle. This is given 15.696 kilonewton. Along this direction, there should be one line whose length should be proportional to the force TBC, and this should be force T proportional to force TAC. But we do not know the exact location. So what we do, we somehow select a location corresponding to these two directions, and this was the only way here. But even if we do not do that thing, we are not going to use we are not going to measure this length directly. Somehow we represent two lines and note down these calculated angle values there, and now you utilize the law of sines. Okay, so therefrom we find this relation corresponding tension developed in the member AC and that in the member BC. Okay, and similarly this kind of a thing we can apply for other forces, the other situation, like instead of one vertical downward hanging force, here is one horizontally applied force, this one 660 Newton. Then those support ends are fixed on this vertical wall with these directions from this horizontal level 3 meter upward, 1.4 meter downward at a distance of 2.25 meter horizontally for point C from the vertical wall support. So now we draw this force triangle. Of course, free body diagram is the first thing. After that, we take a horizontal line proportional to 660 Newton. We calculate these angles from this 3 meter divided by 2.25 meter, 1.4 meter divided by 2.25 meter, find their signs after those calculation of angles. But we do not draw that triangle with real magnitude or with the real angle. It is just somehow representation, because we are writing those angles side by side. So free body diagram for that joint C horizontal given force, unknown forces with known directions alpha and beta, find this tan alpha, tan beta and corresponding sin alpha, sin beta, etc. This is the force triangle. This is one given direction magnitude, and we write down this 53.130 degree. Approximately, this angle is approximately that, because to get the exact angle, we need to draw, or we need to follow that procedure what was shown earlier, that through this point draw a line parallel to this angle, through this point draw a line parallel to this line, and there you get this two lines point of intersection. Then only you can identify this exact location. Otherwise, it will be some approximate position which roughly you can get a line parallel to this and parallel to this. Otherwise, the only way is that lines parallel to those given directions. Then law of sines again you apply there for this triangle here. But if you need to apply your that famous and popular and well-known Lami's theorem, you need to apply for this free body diagram 660 divided by sin alpha plus beta, TBC divided by sin pi minus alpha, and TAC divided by sin pi minus beta. The same thing you will get like this. Another similar situation when the applied force is neither vertical nor horizontal, it is inclined, and please note down. What about the unit of the force?
LB.
What is the pound? So this is the pound force. This angle is given 30 degree. Now, if this angle alpha is given and you are asked to find out the forces developed in this member CB and in this member CA, follow the previous procedure. And if it is mentioned that for this situation, to generate some 250 pound force in this member CB, suppose this member is so weak that it cannot resist more than that value, that is the threshold value or limiting value. So if it is said that the strength of this member is such that it cannot carry more forces, as you see this is the quite bigger section and it is thin, so maybe it is weaker. So if that limit is given, you have to find out that value corresponding to that given magnitude of this force for this angle alpha. So how many unknowns are there? The force developed in this member AC and the unknown angle for which there will be a value given for the member CB. So there also graphically, semi-graphically or completely analytical, there is no harm. Whatever method you prefer and you feel confident, but not always you will find that similar kind of forces, whether it is horizontal or vertical or inclined or combination of the values for the unknown will be only for two magnitudes. It's not like that. It may be one value, one direction. It may be both the directions.
Continue.
Sir, time is over and take the attendance, sir.
Attendance has been taken. So thank you for reminding me. And of course, I'll just check once whether it has been downloaded or not. So please,
Yes, sir.
wait a moment and don't move this don't leave this platform, because
Okay.
if it is not properly downloaded, naturally I need to. Yes, today's date is there. So in some similar way, you can draw this triangle, know these included angles, form this expression, find out this value. Okay. Now, please try, or I don't say that always you need to purchase a book, because so many free materials you will get. And first go to the beginning of those books, and initial chapters you will find this type of concurrent coplanar force system, the force triangle, etc., etc. Here is another. If alpha value and p value are given, that is different. That is the straightforward way. For this given 45-25 angles, so what are the forces developed? Now, if p and alpha both are unknown, then definitely other two things must be known. That means this member force BC and member force CA, they must be given. Because for this situation, we can write down only two equations, two independent equations. So where from we can solve only two unknowns. Okay. And this is the corresponding vector triangle, the free body diagram, and sine law or Lem's theorem, whatever you prefer, you represent in that way. But you have to do it correctly. The angle calculation, the sine cosine calculation, etc., etc. So anyway, we are close to our limit. From 10 you have a class. So please permit me.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day, sir.